Hey, welcome back to Final Fantasy Ever Crisis. This is Al Shalant, doing a video tonight to go over the news about the game update this weekend. We got the news notifiers on Tuesday for a Thursday update, whereas usually we get notices on Monday for a Wednesday update. But it looks like they are making the update on Thursday this week. Not sure why. It actually falls on the Thanksgiving holiday for America. But yeah, so we'll get Thursday update this week, and the big thing coming is NieR. So we got the NieR crossover event coming. Expecting Tifa and Yuffie banners on Thursday, and we're gonna get a free Zack event weapon, so that means we'll get 100 Zack weapon parts. It's going to come with an escalation boss. 2B is going to be the boss from the NieR Automata game, and a new 2B enemy skill. So that's the basics of NieR, but we'll talk about it a little bit more and the implications a little bit later. Let's go to the next smaller parts of the update. We also this one won't be until next week, starting on December 3rd, but we're getting a new solo battle ranking. It's going to be against Odin. Looks like it's a single boss again, whereas we had been getting two bosses on solo battle rankings until recently. The last one was just a single boss too. So this looks like the new normal going forward. And last time they also changed up the rewards, made the rewards a lot better, and they split the groups into many more groups, so it's easier to get rank for those rewards. There used to only be 12 groups for a solo ranking, and last time I think I heard there were 36 groups, so the player base is split into 3 times as many groups, so you're that much more likely to get top 10, top 20, top 50, whatever you're shooting for. They didn't do this new group split for the dungeon last month, though. So I'm kind of wondering if they're gonna do the 36 for just the solo boss again. Hope so, because it was nice having it be a little bit easier time for ranking and getting the rewards that you want. Speaking of Odin, we got more Odin co-ops coming back. I actually wasn't sure if this was new or not, but because I didn't remember Odin co-op before, but that's just because he dies so quickly in co-op that I barely remembered it. Leviathan's in the picture here. We haven't had a Leviathan co-op in like over a year. Been waiting for that one to rerun. Don't know why it hasn't in so long, because that's like the only EX co-op that I haven't completed. When I first started the game, when Leviathan was up as a EX co-op, I wasn't strong enough to do it yet, so I'm just waiting for that one to come back to finish off all the EX co-op fights. What else is new? So we got additions to the ticket draws and exchanges. This is kind of exciting. We did have a bunch of new featured weapons. It's easier to see which weapons they are here. Back in October, we had the First Soldier event, so we have the Desperado weapons for the First Soldier characters, Matt, Glenn, and Lucia. Also had the Halloween costumes for, or Halloween weapons for Vince and Angeal. But in addition to adding these to like the daily 10 draw and the gacha tickets, this means you'll be able to OB2 them quicker. because you'll be able to spend your tickets on them. You'll be able to get them in the daily draws, and they started giving us those rousing medals to for OB2ing new featured weapons, and that's how you increase the OB level on these new free Monster Hunter like clone weapons that are just like a little bit worse than the actual Monster Hunter weapon. But that's like a we call it Timu Kimura wand and Timu Zinogre for Zack. They just have like a I think the Kimura goes mid to high. Am I crazy about that? The P attack on it goes mid to high, whereas it's high to high on the actual Kimura, but the M def is high. And then the Zack is a little bit weaker, where it's 900 with a 1.2, whereas Zenogre's a 940 1.2. They're just a little bit weaker than the actual ones, but it's an indicator that Monster Hunter's not coming back to the game, that they're putting those in with the rousing medals. So when you get a new feature weapon to OB2, they give you rousing medals that you could exchange for copies of those. And with the 5 weapons being added to the pool, that'll be easy to get your Timu Kimura to OB5 pretty quickly. And then the next time we have a featured weapon, um, if you pull on that banner to OB2, or if you wishlist it after it's off the banner, or wait a couple months for it to be added to tickets, then you'll be able to get OB6 Timu Kimura after the very next featured weapon comes out. Awesome. But the other thing about additions to exchange after the weapons, it's saying they're adding the enemy skill Army of One from the Final Fantasy 13 event to the co-op medal exchange. So this is like quality of life. So people that are new and miss this month's event will be able to go back and get this enemy ability from the co-op shop and get memory vouchers for it to level it up. But one thing that I would like to see them do some quality of life similar to this is for the Memorias. Because right now, if you miss the event a Memoria's on, you can't get it. So you're missing out on the extra elemental potency or the extra bonus for different enemy types like humanoids here, or summons, or terrestrials. So I think it would be a good idea for them to add a Memoria exchange as well. So similarly with quality of life, they could go back and get those. And the Fury Summon event that we just had a couple months ago for anniversary allowed us to level up our double summons to level 10. So people that weren't strong enough to complete that event couldn't get their double summons up to level 10, and some of them are stuck at like level 6, 7, 9, depending on how far they could get in that Summon Fury event. So I think that bringing that back as a permanent would also be helpful for the health of the game going forward. Oh, there's one more thing about the battle rank I wanted to mention with Odin. He is probably going to be physical Earth. I'm thinking since Tifa and Yuffie are getting a banner, and Tifa and Yuffie both have physical Earth weapons. And what else might be helpful is Matt has his new Desperado weapon, which gives wind resistance, so that would be helpful against Odin, maybe not. But that's just something to keep in mind. And the new NieR banner is going to help with this if it is physical, because it gives Tifa a physical bonus, which I was expecting we were gonna see pretty soon. I think I got a picture of this up right here. Yeah, that's the new Tifa banner. It's physical non-elemental 1340, like we expect. Uh, so non-elemental is going to be an offhand because it's buffing herself with physical damage bonus. That's one of the two new buffs that we got at anniversary, bonus and weapon boost. So this one's bonus, which is the one with the two arrows on the buff, and it's gonna increase P attack to all allies to high tier, 3 arrows. Um, at OB10 probably, of course, or OB6 and OB10. I'd guess. Since it is saying physical non-elemental and it is a physical damage bonus, I would probably predict our abilities on this to be boost P attack and physical ability potency. Some offhands are neutral, like Daffodil and AC gloves. They have neutral boost attack all allies and neutral ability potency. But since this one is specific to physical, that's why I'm thinking it'll have physical R abilities. That's the new Tifa weapon. Hoping tomorrow on Twitter that they'll show the Yuffie one because it looks like they're doing a countdown here. Like yesterday, they said 3 days until 2B arrives, and 2 days until 2B arrives, and it's showing the new Tifa weapon. So that's it for NieR and the new battle ranking and the new weapons coming to the gotcha tickets and the daily draws. But there's one more biggie here, and this is the version update. And this notice is loaded. It's got my mind racing about the possibilities here. It's very small amount of words that have a lot of implications of what does this mean, and I can't wait to see what it means because since we won't know until it happens, we could only imagine the possibilities. So first here, it says new features, gear, C abilities, and sub gear. So gear are costumes. C abilities are the attacks that we press from our weapons. So they're going to be adding new buttons to press during combat to costumes. Pretty much is what we're saying here. Right now, we have two C abilities, our main hand and our offhand. So once all of our characters have costumes with C abilities on them too, they will have 3 C abilities. 3 characters in the party, that's 9 C abilities instead of the 6 that we have right now that we can use to like build a foundation of buffs and debuffs, which I was thinking that the new bonus and weapon boost buffs were a little bit much when we already have a hard time fitting a build with all the existing buffs like P and M attack up and down, E def, M def up and down, element up and down, enfeeble, exploit, and then we have these physical and magic bonuses, physical and magic weapon boost, element bonus, element weapon boost, 4 more basically that we have to stack in too, if we can, as they're introduced. But so yeah, 9 C abilities for a party if every one of them has a new costume with a C ability on it. That's kind of wild in my opinion. Plus the ultimates. You don't press them like all the time, but you get like 1 or 2 or 3 charges of those. That's like 12 different slots. 6 from the weapons, main and offhand on each character, 3 from the costumes, 3 from the ults. That's 12 different abilities that you can account for in your build for doing buffs and debuffs and all of that. And that's exciting to me. But that's also going to make it more FOMO on costumes, because what if the C ability on the costume, you don't want to pass that up, because then you won't be able to equip it. Because you can always skip a featured weapon because it'll be added to the wish list and the tickets later. But a costume won't be added to those things later on, so you're just going to be skipping that C ability altogether. So it incentivizes pulling for costumes, because the FOMO for missing out on that ability. And there's more FOMO in the next one coming up here, with his sub gear slots are being made available. So I take this at face value as being, we're going to be able to equip 2 different costumes to a character. Just like we have sub weapons, this is sub gear. And when we think about sub weapons, is the sub gear gonna behave the same way? Like, if I'm Cloud and my sub weapons, it doesn't have to be Cloud weapons for his subs. It could be any character's weapons for his subs. Does Cloud's sub costume, sub gear have to be a Cloud costume, or can I equip Eris PDEF All costume with ATB boost from the Final Fantasy 13 crossover that we just had? That's interesting to think about. Or with the C abilities, we'll probably want to put the new costumes with C abilities in our main costume slot, and then use the sub costume slots for like support or extra stats, just like sub weapons. And does this mean it'll behave like sub weapons, where sub weapons only get half of the value for stats and our ability points? Well, the R ability points probably, because they're already worked into the costume. Let's see. The R abilities have points. So if we have a sub costume, will it half that number of points? So it goes down to from 15 to 7. So then it would only be 10% all allies magical defense is a sub costume. That's very interesting to think about. Very intriguing. And I don't want to wait till Thursday to get the answer. And yeah, like I was saying with the FOMO, this could incentivize pulling on a character that you don't like. Like, let's say we hate Tifa. I know, who would think? But if Tifa has a costume that has boost attack all allies, and you want that for another character, just as an example, and it was halved to 7 points, so it would only be 5%. Okay, that's not bad. But then I was gonna use this R ability, the multi-element, as an example. But how will this react? It only has 1 level, but it requires 10 points. So if you half the amount of points, it'll be 10, but it won't reach level 1 yet. So will that R ability not work as a sub costume? These are the kind of questions I'm thinking about right now. Same about this. The Arcanums, they're 10 points. Half of 10 is 5. You don't get to level 1 yet. Then boost P attack, 15 points. Half is 7, so it would be 10% instead of 15. Let's look for somebody. Let's go to a build that I could destroy a little bit if I do something wrong. I want to look at one of like the tier increase costumes. Yeah, so +1 tier for MDEF down. That's like only 10 points too. So if you half the points, you don't get to level 1. Another one would be Reprieve. Well, you'd get half the duration of the Invincible. It's interesting looking at these. Oh, what I wanted to do was look at one of the updated Arcanums from 6 month, where there's an Arcanum level 2 now. It still wouldn't, if you half 15 points, it still doesn't reach level 1 though. That's strange. So I wonder if this will be more for the support abilities than adding damage. If it behaves the same way as sub weapons do with half of the R ability point values, that is very interesting to me. I can't wait to find out on Thursday. This update has me very excited overall, even though I am kind of frustrated with everybody about the FOMO that it's going to induce. That there's still a lot here to wonder about. And as a whale myself, it won't affect me as much because I usually pull to a costume anyways. I haven't skipped a costume in over a year, but yeah, very interesting. But yeah, it can incentivize you to pull for a costume on a character you don't even want. Like, if you don't like Glenn, but his R abilities on his costume are great, you may want it for a sub. Let's do it for somebody else. And yeah, will the new C ability costumes be our main costume? Can you only have C ability on the main costume? Can you have a C ability on the sub costume too? Will it work? But either way, the with the C abilities on a main costume, then equipping a sub costume, that'll make older costumes maintain relevance, because you'll want to mix and match for the build different support abilities and stuff from the R abilities. This will benefit the players that have a lot of costumes, and show a bit of power creep, because we'll have twice as many R abilities on our costumes now. There's a couple examples of how to implement a costume and a sub costume that I wanted to think about, and maybe I'm on the wrong track, but like you can stack 2 different ice arcanums if the R ability points aren't a factor, you know? Or maybe equip your damage costume as the main, and then equip like a costume with support R abilities as the sub. Or can we use the all elements? Can we equip the new costume with the C ability, then have a sub costume with all elements on it? That would be great. So those are the kind of things I'm thinking about now with the sub costumes and costumes with C abilities on them. We can move on to the next one now. See, we just talked for so long just about the first 2 sentences in the patch update for Thursday. That is crazy to me. It's fucking bizarre. The next one is a new feature, Rare Weapon Metal Workshop. It says the workshop makes it possible to convert weapon parts into a new item called Rare Weapon Metals. These weapon parts must be for weapons meeting the following requirements. Must be OB10 or higher. And the weapon must be obtainable from a draw, which doesn't mean there has to be a banner up from it. Obtainable from a draw means, like, we have the daily 10 draw. We have the ticket draws. So if it's in the ticket pool, then it's eligible. Or if it's on a limit breaker, a crossover weapon. This pretty much just means you can't do this with event weapons, like the free event weapons, like the free Zac weapon we're gonna get. You won't be able to trade in those weapon parts. And we do have this is rare weapon metals. We do have weapon metals already, and they're kind of useless. You go here to exchange, and this is where you can exchange for weapon metals. Extra weapon parts, and it says here the workshop. So they're gonna have a new screen like this, the rare workshop or whatever. And these ones have a shop, weapon metals, and the only thing you could buy with them is grindstones, which is kind of useless when you have almost 200,000 grindstones. So we'll be able to trade in weapon parts for our OB10 plus weapons, like the overcap, and then they'll have a new shop with stuff to buy with them. I'm wondering what kind of items will they offer for us in here. Will it just be, it's got to be better than just the grindstones, I'm saying. But could it be like a weekly cap on refined mithril or ingots, like we have in the enhancement exchange right now? Like you could get 10 refined mithril in here right now. So will it be something like that? Will it be, what else could it be? Could it be brandstones? Could it be synth mats? Could do the gold ones at like a weekly cap, or bookmarks would actually be great too. None of that's really useful. Materia potions maybe. And yeah, like when you go and look at some of these weapon parts, like my Murasami is plus 20, so I have 1493 of those already. Maritime 1600. Mystic Sword, the game just keeps throwing these at me. 3700. So I'll be able to trade in those extra weapon parts, since those weapons are already OB10, for these new weapons, and use them in the new rare metal shop. What else could it be? Could it be overspeed memories for quality of life, for catch up? I think that it is too slow that they're giving these out now, that players that have been playing since Odin released last March have all their characters overspeed maxed out. And I don't think it's fair that they drip feed these so slowly still for new players, because it'll take them so long to catch up. We didn't finish these until almost the 6 month, or it was the year and 6 month Odin when overspeed came out. We didn't finish everybody's overspeed until the 2-year event, so it took 6 months. There, I tripped on my words a little bit there. Will we be able to get Memoria upgrades with the rare weapon metals? Astrowind's kind of useless now. Highwind boosters. Maybe buy old gear. That's a pipe dream though. Yeah, interesting. I'm really interested in seeing which items they'll let us exchange. The other part of this is they want to give people options. So a lot of people like me have some of the weapons plus 20 already, and if you don't know what that means, let's descend by rarity. Is you got an OB10 weapon. Let's do it ascending so you can see. You got an OB10 weapon here. It's 5 pink stars. You got a plus 20 weapon, means you over boosted it 20 more times past the 5 pink stars. So that's like OB30 technically. And what happens when you do the pluses past OB10, it just gives a very marginal increase to your main stat, and it'll swap each time. It'll give like 3P attack, then the next one will give 3M attack, 3P attack, 3M attack. So by the time you get plus 20, it's 30 of each added to the weapon. Plus it adds heal stat for some reason too. I guess since the healing weapons would want that, you know. But that's the main difference, is it just marginally increases the stat value on the weapon. Not a whole ton. 30 out of 700. Oh, minus the Rand. 30 out of like 660. That's like 5%. This is like a 5% stat increase for 20 more overboost levels, which is insane. So they are giving people the option to remove the plus 20. It says here, new feature, remove overboost. It says removing overboost plus turns a weapon into a +0 weapon, but returns all weapon parts that were used to overboost plus that weapon. So they're giving people the option, if they want to buy stuff from the new rare metal shop and they have plus 20, plus 10, plus 12 weapons, they could get those weapon parts back to get rare metals to use in the shop, which makes me hope that what you can get this from the shop is useful, but who knows. And then there's just a couple more things here. They're expanding the minimum and maximum materia capacity. From 100 to 200 is the minimum's going, and if you've gone past the minimum, they'll increase yours by 100, and they're increasing the maximum from 1500 to 2000. That makes me think that there might be more materia coming up soon. The new app icon and title screen, that's expected. But that's about it for the updates. One more thing is what's not in these notices. It doesn't say the Yuffie and Tifa banner. We looked at the image for the new Tifa weapon already, and it doesn't show what the new ult's gonna be, which we've had rumors of since Sid was the last character to get his ult, that characters will start getting a second ultimate, and Aerith is rumored to be first. Or maybe they're gonna do like a general Mako gem this month so people could catch up on their ultimates or something like that. But those are just a couple things to think about that aren't in the update notice that come to mind. But yeah, that's it. That's the notices tonight. Just thinking about these new updates and what effect they'll have on the game in terms of power, which is what I think about most often. Memoria had a great impact on power. Enemy skills had an okay impact on power. It makes your summon multiplier easier to get. Overspeed had a giant impact on power. So a sub gear slot and a costume with a C ability attached to it, that could have potential for greatly impacting our power in the game. But that's about it. Hope you guys have a good night. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Take care, and I'll see you Thursday for NieR. Bye.